Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. I'm Tom Murphy, and this is Trinidad Now, Trinidad Times Television, segment 3 with H.L. Bowman Jr. As I told him before, this is on management. We're going to jump right into the questions. We're going to go through the questions. I'm going to read you the referendums, and at the end, I'm going to point you to that camera, and you can take as long as you want to tell people, you know, whether or not to vote for you, or whatever it is that you want to say.
Great.
So, as a city council member, what, HL, is your role in government?
Well, like I said in the beginning of this interview, I think that somewhere along the lines, people have got mixed up and do not understand what a public servant is. I am making myself totally transparent and available for dialogue and communication via email, phone number, Facebook, you know, however it is. I want to be available because a public servant is exactly what it is. You are there to serve the public. You know, it's great that I have strong beliefs in this or that, but I have to listen to what my constituents and have to say, and then make a determination of how I should be voting or how I should be moving towards something or bringing something up to council.
So sometimes when people are campaigning, they have all these things going on. If you get elected, are you going to continue with your phone number and all that available?
Absolutely. You know, I don't know how much it'll be utilized. I hope it is.
Right.
Because, you know, I've been walking, like I said, walking the neighborhoods, walking to businesses, and listening to people, and it's amazing what you hear. And it's amazing what you learn and the diversity of people we have here.
Right.
And the common good that people want for this community.
Right.
You know, it's awesome.
Well, just be prepared. You know, I've been filming for a long time, and I've heard various council members say, I got 10 calls on this one issue. So, you know, if you get elected, you're going to be getting some phone calls.
Which I hope I do, because
Right.
I do want to hear that. Because, like I said, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're taking that on when you come into this position,
Right.
and you should be available.
Okay. HL, what relationship should council have with city employees? For example, if an employee came to you to complain about their supervisor, how would you respond?
Well, I think chain of command is a big thing. In a system, you know, I was in the union, you know, so, I mean, I understand problems. I mean, there are always problems. But I think that you need to go chain of command. But I think as a representative of council and of the people, I think that I need to be sure that I'm listening to that. You know, so if someone did come up to me, you know, and it was about so-and-so, well, you know, I'm going to go to so-and-so's supervisor and say, hey, this person had this issue, you know, why don't you tell me how this was resolved? Because I want to know that stuff is getting resolved and being handled the way it should be handled.
Okay. Big question. How do you define leadership?
Leadership is in a reflection of yourself. I think that in order to lead people, you need to lead by example. I think that, you know, it's easy to say you shouldn't do this, but I think you shouldn't be doing that either. I think leadership is something earned, you know, something where you are placed there, and you'll see it. You'll see it in, you know, groups of children. You know, you'll see the child that all of a sudden, you know, all the kids are following, and there's a reason for that. I've never been one to follow. I don't like following people. I've always been the guy that even if I'm not agreeable with the rest of the people, I could stand by myself. And I'm okay with that. But that's because, you know, of who I am. I think leadership in people is a great thing. I think it's good to have leadership, but not everybody's a leader.
Okay. How do you explain the council manager form of government that the city has? For people that are watching that don't know what it means.
You know, I'm still getting familiar with all this stuff. My take on it, I mean, I want to be more educated in it,
Right.
so that I know, the appeals, the all that stuff before I try and educate someone else on it, because I'm not that educated on it.
Well, let me interject this, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because Pueblo, and I said some of this to other candidates, but not all of them. But Pueblo has had discussions about changing, and what it is like in Colorado Springs and Denver, the mayor really is the city manager. Right now, Pueblo has a city manager, and the mayor is like the rest of council. And so, really, what it is, if you were elected mayor and running for mayor and elected, you'd be the city manager. Do you think that's something that Trinidad should have?
No,
Okay.
I don't. I think the city manager is exactly that, a city manager, and I think there needs to be one. And I think there's certain qualifications and credentials that person needs to meet.
Okay. I'm going to combine these next three questions into one.
Okay.
What is executive session? What can be discussed in executive session? What if an illegal or improper decision or discussion would take place in executive session? What would you do?
First of all, I'm not real educated in all this. I know an executive session is where council and your mayor meet, but I'm going to sing like a canary. We're not going to do illegal stuff. I want us to be transparent. I want us to, be respected by the people that have voted us in. I want them to know that what I'm representing is them, and I don't need any secrets. I don't need to be hush hush. I want them to know that this is real and it's serious, and there are rules and regulations, and if they're being broken, you know what? You're going to be called out on it. I'm not going to lay back and sit there and let any of this nonsense take place. It's not me. I'm not that kind of person.
Okay. Last two parts, and I'm going to read these to you. These are the referendums, if it's new to you or whatever, just say so. It's okay. But shall, and I've got one contact in and not in the other. I have monovision now, so I'm having a little trouble focusing. So, shall Section 8.3, Paragraph 3 of Chapter 8, Boards and Commissions of the City of Trinidad, Colorado, Home Rule Charter be amended to allow one-year residents of Las Animas County who are registered to vote to also serve on city boards and commissions, excluding Planning and Zoning and Variance Commission, provided that the majority of the board or commission always be comprised of city residents, all set forth in Trinidad City Ordinance number 2037, Section 1.
Most of that I am in agreement of. The thing that kind of I'm torn on is I think that they need to have a vested interest. I don't think someone in Kim, Colorado has a vested interest in the city of Trinidad.
Right.
I don't. Now, if they have a business here, I think that's a different story. So I think there needs to be an amendment in that.
But this is what's going to be on the ballot, so it's too late to amend any of it.
And I probably, at this point, without having full knowledge of all this, would be no.
Okay, all right. Referendum 3. Shall Section 8.5 of Chapter 8, Boards and Commissions of the City of Trinidad, Colorado, Home Rule Charter be amended to clarify that City Council serves as the Planning, Zoning, and Variance Board of Appeals to hear and decide appeals of decisions rendered by the Planning, Zoning, and Variance Commission, all has set forth in Trinidad City Ordinance number 2038, Section 1.
To what you've read and my understanding to it, I'd vote yes on that. Of course, I would want to research it a little more and understand it a little more, but to my comprehension of it at this time, I would vote yes on it.
Okay. Referendum 4. Shall Section 8.6, Paragraph 1 of Chapter 8, Boards and Commissions of the Home Rule Charter for the City of Trinidad, Colorado, be amended to require the frequency for development and submission of a master plan by the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board be once every 5 years, all is set forth in the Trinidad City Ordinance number 2039.
I'm not real familiar with that, and I probably would have to do more research on it before I made a decision on yes or no.
Fair answer. Last one, Referendum 5. Section 12.6 of Chapter 7, General Provisions of the City of Trinidad, Colorado, Home Rule Charter, be amended to clarify that all permanent/full-time employees except administrative employees, have the right to bargain collectively with the city. All has set forth in the Trinidad City Ordinance number 2040, Section 1.
Now, hearing it, it sounds good, you know, and I'd probably lean toward yes, but like the other one, I would like to do more research on it to understand it and comprehend it a little better.
But you were a union guy, right? This
Correct.
is a union
Correct.
question. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So here's the part, as I've told everybody else, and we're going to get to the end. This is where you got 30 seconds or 30 minutes, however long you want. We have some very short-winded people, we have some long-winded people. But what you've talked to me, and what I want you to do now is look at the camera over here and take however long you think it's, you know, appropriate, and say whatever you want to the voters. And then after you're done, I'll wrap it up and we'll be done.
Great, thanks, Tom.
So right here.
Well, first off, I want to say, you know, thank you for allowing me to do this. I really appreciate it, and I think it's something that's needed in this community, so that people know who they're voting for, that they're just not picking a name off the ballot. And I hope I've been transparent enough and, you know, explained myself enough. I want to bring back the people's voice. I want people to understand that when I'm on that council, I'm there to represent them. I want to know what people are feeling, and I want to be available. I want to be able to communicate and have, you know, a dialogue with people. I know it's hard in society right now. Things get busy and people get caught up in stuff, and I know they can't attend, you know, these meetings. And the thing is I want to be there to represent them, and they need to know that I'm going to bat for them. And you know what, if I'm the one person that votes different than everyone else, well then so be it. But at least I'm doing what I was voted in to do. I don't have an agenda. I mean, I hope people are voting for me because they know who I am, and they know that when I go to bat for them, I'm looking to knock it out of the park. I'm H.L. Bowman. Hope to see you soon, and thanks very much.
HL, thank you very much. And I'm
Tom.
going to say what I've said to the other candidates. Being an observer for these last 10, 12 years, I'm excited that so many people are running. It means that things are coming back up in this community, that people are willing to commit the time that it's going to take. And not everybody can get on. There's only 7 seats and 2 for mayor and the 3 other spots. So I'm wishing you and everyone luck. Great. But the winner in all this is going to be the community.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. And you know, one last thing, get out and vote. People need to get out there and vote, you know.
How many countries are out there and they don't, North Korea and others, that they don't even have this opportunity.
Right.
So absolutely, and the percentages indicate that more people need to participate.
Absolutely.
So, but HL, thank you.
Tom,
I'm going to wrap
you.
it up.
I
You
appreciate
bet.
it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tom Murphy, and this is Trinidad Now with HL Bowman. Going to have all the candidates, or most of the candidates. We'll see who all shows up, but thank you for watching.